TV family, catch us live on your TV screens.
Okay, so I might have lied a little earlier on. I said I was steering the ship alone, but my queen is going to steer this interview with me. Aura is in the building. You guys definitely know her familiar face. She is a hostess with the most on your favorite show, Hype It Up. But today she said, she's going to be rolling with the big dogs.
Grace you with my presence.
Not
Dumelang guys, welcome back to Exe. My name is Ora Dilesi. I've been Tuana Bitori. Today I came back with another story because I'm not on my usual show, Hype It Up. I came to co-host with the lovely Razulu right here on Exe, and we have an interesting interview that we're about to get into. I've been involved in basketball for quite some time, and for as long as I've been, I've never seen a team as elite as this that we have in studio right now. Founded by Mr. Raphael Griffins, he has brought absolute nothing but roars across Cape Town. They go by the name of Cape Town Tigers. How are you guys?
Hello, how you doing?
We're great, thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Now, give us a little background into how you actually got to establish the team.
Oh, well, firstly, my name is Raphael Edwards, and I'm from Brooklyn, New York. And the whole establishment of the team came about with a childhood friend of mine. He brought the opportunity to me. I saw the vision and, researched Cape Town. I then reached out to two of my other partners, female partners, Shantae Butler and Dia Martin. And we got together and I sold them on the vision. They saw it with me, and here we are, basically.
You make it sound so simple, like here we are, it just magically happened, but I'm sure there's more. How do you pick your team? How did you end up picking your team? Were you just like, okay, come audition, come trial? Or was it like you've been spotting talent, you're like, oh, this person looks like they're good, this person looks like they're good, combined together?
Well, we did something like that, but first I felt it was important to recruit the coaches. So that's why I recruited Vince, which I call Mr. Ice, and Coach Relton, Mr. Fire, because they know the talent here. So I first got them. Then they helped send in videos of the national players. And then once I saw the national players and their skill level, I then discussed it with my partners as well on who I thought we should bring in as imports to help propel us and take us to the next level.
Love that.
Absolutely. Now with Peter right here, he's South African, but I understand you've played quite an extensive way in your basketball career throughout the world, most exceptionally. And how was it that you were approached and you actually agreed to come back to South Africa? What was that thing that was like, what, let me give this a shot, come back and represent my own home country?
Yeah, I mean, that was very much an interesting opportunity and very exciting for me. Obviously, I'm a South African kid that was born here, but I never really grew up here. And ever since I left, I've never been established here. So for them to give me an opportunity where I can actually come home and be able to play basketball at a high level and provide not only that aspect, but give back to the basketball community here where we can grow something towards the future for me, was an incredible chance. And I immediately, jumped on top of the opportunity. They obviously knew who I was just based on my profile, my career. I've been jumping around, through Europe, South America, and, just got out of Champions League. And them approaching me, it was for me an honor to come back home and to be able to be in my country, play the sport, and help grow the sport. Because we have so much talent here. We just need to grow it and, really broadcast what we have capable here in South Africa.
Male and female talent.
Absolutely, definitely. I agree to that.
And speaking of talent, I want to come to you. I mean, he did say that you were one of the people who were sending through the talent. So what were you looking for when you were sent? Were you looking for a well-balanced team? Or were you just like sending in different people and figuring out what it is that you're going to make the Tigers as a basketball team?
Well, as Coach alluded, it's based through scouting, it's based through understanding at grassroots level as well, I mean, what takes it to be in the higher level at the elite state that we are. So fortunately, I've played basketball at the highest level as well, having played for South African national team. So it made it a little bit easier to understand what's needed to be like a high-profile player or what it takes to be in this state of basketball, So combined with all the efforts from the management and getting the instructions direct from the management above as well, so it made it quite a bit easier because we refer to them, people either or we've seen them, people in the basketball community, so It was not a challenge to be
At all. There's so much talent in South Africa, is what you're saying.
I truly believe so. It needs to be nurtured. It needs to be just unearthed from and given the right skills, you know. So that's what we also all about, you know, getting the first-hand experience from, you know, basketball. I mean, US is big. That whether we like it or not. So when we get these guys who are coming with experience from NBA, your Ben Uzo and other guys who are still joining us, even Coach right here, you know, having dealt with pros at that NBA level, it's a great deal for us because I mean, coming and impart that knowledge, coming and share those skills, it means that we are in great hands, and obviously we gotta continue to just see what difference we can make using Cape Town Tigers as a vehicle to reach out everywhere.
Absolutely. Speaking of developing the talent that is already in the country right now, I mean, with the players that you have taken from the country, I've seen immense growth in most of them. And with the competition that you guys have introduced to the rest of the country, I mean, with the recent championship that you guys won so effortlessly, congratulations on that. I mean, now introducing past NBA players who bring absolutely an even bigger level of competition. What was your approach in bringing forth Mr. Ben over here?
Well, after I saw a tape of Ben play and I heard a little bit of his story, I thought he would be a perfect fit for us. And being that he's from the States and I could really communicate and he could relate to me and what I need him to do to then lead the team as the point guard position. But in hearing his story, I also felt, which I don't even think he knows, I felt like he still had something to prove.
And do you feel like you proved that, Ben?
Have I proved that yet?
Yeah.
No, not yet.
Okay, are you gonna prove it?
Okay.
Oh, he's gonna prove
Oh,
it.
he's gonna do it. Unfortunately, we're almost out of time. So before we let you guys go, where can we find you on social media? If someone wants to find out more, if they want to like be a part of your journey as Cape Town Tigers.
You can start at the Cape Town Tigers on Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook, and then where you're at, Ben is on Instagram, Pete Prinsloo is on Instagram,
I feel like once they find the Cape Town Tigers, they'll
once
find
they find the
everyone
Cape Town
else.
Tigers, then you could go right there. So again, it's the THE Cape Town Tigers.
All right.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much, ladies and gents. Here is a quick interview with Ola, telling us all things about her.
Everybody, you are still tuned into Cape Town TV channel 263, and the name of the show is EkseLive, and my name is Awonge Dulaze. But right now, joining me is the CEO of Advannotech. He goes by the name Mr. Xolani Zuma. Welcome to the show. Thank you so much for making time for us.
Thank you so much for having me, Awonge.
I was doing some research before this conversation, and I see that your company focuses more on the ICT sector. Tell us what the ICT sector is.
So we actually are an IoT and ICT company. Internet of Things and information, communication, and technology entity. The importance, I guess, of what we do is that we are able to create environments for corporates, for industrialists, where everything that they do is now, automated. If not that, we are walking down a path of digitization to ensure that we provide environments that are more conducive for people to work, produce, and live.
That's quite interesting. I also want to find out more about the company itself, the Advannotech. Tell us when it was established and what is it that you guys really do?
Advannotech was started in 2018. Again, the focus of starting, or at least the intention of starting the company, was to play in a technology sector. It was born from a gap that I had identified in the corporate. I come from a property and facilities management background. I've been in that sector for almost 18 years, and I had identified that within the property sector, there was a lack of systems integration. Now, when we talk systems integration, it's funny that back in the day, you would have a property that has multiple systems and to engage with each and every one of them, you needed to log on and load your credentials on each and every one of these silo systems in the environment, which was somewhat counterproductive. Having identified the gap, I started Advannotech. The sole intention at the time was to create a company that could help property managers consolidate their systems, have a single view of that which they want to see, without having to access multiple systems at the same time.
And during the pandemic, a lot of people lost their jobs and then a lot of businesses failed. And I understand that your company managed to generate revenue. How did you manage to do this in the pandemic?
If the pandemic taught us anything, it taught us two most important things as SMMEs in this country. One, that we must remain as agile as possible. And importantly, we must learn to adapt. I think for me, those were the two key things that helped us turn the tide. You'll remember that when the pandemic hit, there was a huge uptake, or at least interest on technology innovations that could help us deal with the pandemic and the impact of the pandemic at the time. So what we did as a company was to then obviously evolve our business to make sure that we focus on solutions and services that sought to deal, using technology, deal with the impact of the pandemic at that time, and that is how we were able to keep the business going even when other SMMEs were closing down.
And I know that one of the things that you're passionate about is job creation. I want to find out, how do you plan to create sustainable jobs, opportunities in the ICT graduates in the country?
So what we did when we started Advannotech in 2018, one of the key pillars of our existence was to impact the socioeconomic issues or dynamics that face our communities.
Yes.
And I was very explicit about using Advannotech as a vehicle to then begin becoming the change that I wanted to see in the country. And to do that, I partnered with very strategic partners, very progressive partners that understood the importance of supporting a young business on projects, on long-term relationships, and thereby spinning the opportunities for us to be able to employ young people. As we speak right now, the company employs plus 20 people across about 5 provinces, and at least about 60-70% of our employment force is young graduates. Now, what we want to do going forward as Advannotech is to entrench our relationships with big corporate, so that as they give us the opportunities, the projects, we are able to continue creating these sustainable jobs.
Yeah, we are unfortunately running out of time. Very quickly, where can people find you on social media if they're interested in your service or want to learn more about the company itself?
We predominantly on LinkedIn as Advannotech SA. We are on Twitter as Advannotech. So basically on those, and I think Facebook as well. We're still present on Facebook.
Thank you once again for making time for us. And that is, ladies and gentlemen, Xolani Zuma, a CEO of Advannotech. Right now, though, it's time for us to take a quick breather as I, against a fourth industrial revolution. I see that we cannot deny it because, they managed to make a lot of money during the pandemic. So all things are moving in the IT direction.